Good morning friends. Welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about pointers to structures concept in detail. So I request everyone to watch the complete video for better understanding. In the last few sessions, we have discussed about a structure. A structure is a user-defined data type which can able to store collection of different data types. We have discussed how to define a structure, how to declare the variables of a structure, and how to access the members of a structure using its variable. I hope you have watched those lectures. If you did not watch those videos or if you don't know those concepts, I request you to go back and watch those videos and come back to this video. So now let me discuss what is a pointer also. The pointer is a variable which can store the address of another variable. If it is an integer pointer, it can store the address of an integer variable. Now, I want to define a structure and I want to declare a variable to the structure, and then again I want to declare a pointer and I want to store the address of the structure variable in this pointer, and then I want to access the members of the structure using this pointer. I hope you have understood the terminology. If you did not understand the terminology, don't worry, I will discuss with an example. First, let me define a structure called student. Okay, so how to define a structure? I need to use a keyword called strut, and then I need to define the structure name. What is the structure name here? I want to keep it as a student. So strut is the keyword and student is the structure name. Now let's take that I want to keep the first member as id. So the data type of the member is int and the member name is id, and I want to store his percentage. Okay, so percentage I'm taking it as a float, and I'm closing the curly braces and ends with a semicolon. So this statement we will call it as a structure definition called student. Now you can write the hash include stdio.h also here on top of that one. I hope it is visible for you. Okay, and then I'm starting the void main. Now look at here. This is the global definition of a structure called student. So once it is a global definition, we can access them in the entire program. Okay, so I'm starting the void main function. Now I want to declare the variable of a structure called student. Unless until I declare a variable to this structure, the memory will not be accessed or memory will not be assigned. Is it clear? So how to declare a variable called strut student? So you need to use the keyword called strut, and you need to use the name of the structure which is student, and then you write the name of the variable. Let's take that I'm writing s1. Now look at the statement here. You are declaring a variable called s1 of what? Student. Now the name of the structure and name of the variable should follow the rules of the identifier. Is it clear? Now I want to declare another pointer which can store the address of this variable called s1. Now I said one point. If it is an integer pointer, can store the address of an integer variable. So similarly, if I want to store the address of a variable s1 which is a strut student, then my pointer also have the data type called student which is a structure. So that's why I am declaring my pointer p as strut student star p. So now the pointer name is p and data type is a student which is a structure. Is it clear? I hope you have understood the statement. Once we declare those variables, we need to assign the address of this one. So how I will do it? P is equal to ampersand of s1. So I am storing the address of this variable s1 in the pointer p. So now this p is pointing to the s1 variable. Okay, is it clear? Now what I want to do? I want to access the members of the structure called student using this variable p. We know how to access the members of a structure using the structure variable called s1. With the help of dot operator, we can access. So we will write the s1 dot member 1 which is id, and similarly s1 dot per. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? So this will give the values which are there in the member ID and percentage. Is it clear? I hope you have understood. Now if the same values of the ID and percentage, I want to access them using the pointer called P. Then how can I access is, I can use the arrow operator. Not instead of the dot operator, I can use the arrow operator, and then I can write the member as ID. Is it clear? Are you able to understand it or not? So this is the way I can define P arrow ID, where P is the name of the pointer, arrow, and then ID is the member name. Is it clear? So this will give the value. If I want to access the member address using the pointer P, then I can write the statement as ampersand P arrow ID. Is it clear? I hope you have understood. Similarly, if I want to access the address of the variable S1 with a member called ID, then I can write the statement as S1.id, and you can write ampersand symbol. Is it clear? Are you able to understand it or not? So now what I can do is that already we know how to read the values using the dot operator, and now I want to read the values from the user using the scanf function and using the pointer P. Okay, now I will discuss this point. Please listen carefully. I will ask the user to enter the student details. So I will use the printf function to display the string as enter the student detail. Okay, \n, and then I will use a scanf function, and I want to read the student ID and percentage. So ID is an integer, so I am using the format specifier as %d, and percentage is a float, so I am using the format specifier as %f. Now we need to write ampersand P arrow ID comma ampersand P of percentage. Okay, this is the way also you can write, or you can write ampersand of s1.id comma ampersand of s1.percentage. These two ways you can write it. Is it clear? As I am discussing with the pointers, so let me access the everything with the help of pointers only. Or if you are comfortable with the normal variable like this also, you can write it. Okay. Now whatever the values I have entered, now I want to display back to the user. So I can write the statement as printf the student details is \n, then I can write the statement as printf %d %f. Now I want to display the values which is there in the member ID and percentage, so I can write it as P arrow ID comma P arrow %. Is it clear? Then I can write the get ch and close the main function. So this is the way we will use the pointers to a structure variable. So I hope you have understood what is the structure definition, how to declare the variable, and how to declare a pointer whose data type is a student, which is a structure, and how to assign the address of this variable s1 to the pointer p, and how to access the members of this variable s1 with the help of the pointer. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.